What I didn't want to do is I didn't want to own a company. I've owned several companies, and I found out that really isn't my forte. I like to market. I like working with people. And when you own the company, you very rarely get a chance to really talk with the folks that you're working with. And I really do enjoy that part of this business. So, and also I believe that if you've had any success in this industry, and quite frankly, even if you haven't had any success, once you get a glimpse and a feeling of what this business can do for you, it gets into your blood. So, to be honest with you, even though I took 4.5 years off, I really wanted to get back into it after 4.5 years. So I started looking for a program to market and started looking for some things to do again. Again, I got a little bit bored here sitting in my office trading, taking walks on the beach, so I decided to start marketing something again. So that kind of catches you kind of up to speed a little bit on my story. The creation of the pizza box actually started there, me sitting on my porch there outside my office. I had an idea, and that's kind of where it all began. You know, you ever have an idea, it's a good idea, but you don't write it down, and then somewhere throughout the day, at the end of the day, you try to recall that idea, and you can't recall it, and it kind of makes you a little bit angry, and you can't, you know, it just doesn't come back to your mind. Well, I had a pretty good idea here, and I didn't want it to leave my mind, so I was actually sitting there on the balcony enjoying the beach there, eating some pizza, and I said, you know what, I got to write this thing down. So I hollered out to my daughter, Chelsea, and said, Chelsea, grab me something to write with, and she gave me a blue Sharpie pen, as you can see, and I turned over the pizza box and I began scribbling on the back of the pizza box my idea. Now, this certainly is a little bit of a reenactment here. I didn't have anybody take a picture of me when I was actually doing that. I just kind of wanted to show you how it transpired. That's basically how it happened, and I wrote on the back of that pizza box this formula. Now, I kept the pizza box, fortunately, but that's kind of how where it all began. It's bringing in these $14.97 and $34.97 cashier checks on a daily basis. Just kind of wanted to share that with you, but you know, I did have some criteria of things I didn't want to do this time around with a home-based business. I really didn't want to work with uncommitted home-based business entrepreneurs. I didn't want to adult babysit. I didn't want to have to motivate or have to inspire others to do something such as you do in MLM or network marketing. I really wanted to find already inspired, motivated folks. I didn't want my income potential to be based on whether or not another person or entity had to stay active in a compensation plan or order product or recruit. Retention rates in these kind of programs today, they're just too low, and these business models are too unpredictable. And I didn't want to spend hours daily marketing. I wanted a kind of a market on demand system, if you will. I know a lot of folks listening to me right now. I know that you're building a home-based business, and I also know that you're probably working harder now in that home-based business than you did on your job. It's not uncommon for us home-based business entrepreneurs are putting in 12 to 15 hours a day to sometimes make about as much as we made on our job. Or it's not uncommon that even if you start learning how to do this, you find yourself holding yourself hostage to your computer hours upon hours upon hours per day, trying to utilize maybe the latest greatest internet marketing technique or whatnot. You're spending so much time building your business that really you're not spending any time with your family at all. I didn't want to do that, and I don't want you to do that either. I also didn't want to sell, explain, or close prospects. I only really wanted to receive calls from prospects that were ready to purchase, and yes, it's very possible to do that. I do it daily. 95% of the folks that call me, they purchase. I didn't want to chase prospects. You don't have to either. You know, in 19 years, I've never chased a prospect ever, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So let's explore how the secret pizza box formula can start putting $14.97 and $34.97 cashier checks in your mailbox on a daily basis. And now, if immediate big income is what you want, then I really pay attention to what we're going to talk about here for the rest of this presentation. I truly feel that what we've put together here and what I put together here is really the quickest way to put 5 figures per month in your pocket, period. Now, here's when I knew I had something huge on my hands. When I put that idea together, I decided to kind of test it. And a week before Christmas, I launched it. And that week before Christmas, I personally brought in $11,308 a week before Christmas. I mean, I didn't really think it would go over that well because most folks are getting ready for Christmas, buying Christmas gifts, are involved in all of that. But I couldn't believe it that when I put this thing into play, brought in $11,308 in my first week and a week before Christmas. So I knew I had a bonanza on my hands here. So I took a few weeks off for Christmas and then began to get serious about this business. So let's run through each step of this formula. I want you to understand each step, and I want you to understand why it works as well. But also remember, hang on to to the remainder of this presentation, to the back end, because I'm going to offer a $6,852 bonus that's going to make this business even easier than it was for me. I'm going to throw in some business building lead generation software, also some turnkey branded marketing system you're going to get, the exact system I use, so you can do exactly what I do. You're going to be positioned within this compensation plan for maximum profit per sale right from day one, or I guess right from hour one, and then you're going to have my personal one-on-one mentoring. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go through a detailed explanation of the pizza box formula. I know there's a little bit of text, but let me just get through it because it'll help this make some sense from the presentation on forward. What you're about ready to learn here is a detailed explanation of a system that can begin earning you 5 figures per month income in your first 30 days. Now, this isn't theory. It's been earning myself anywhere from $22,000 to $147,000 per month. I've helped many others to do exactly the same. This system is proven. The education you're about ready to get here is priceless and can catapult you to the top earning level in the home-based business industry. Now, not only am I going to share with you the exact formula, I'm also going to take it a little bit further and give you the exact why and how for each component of this formula, so you can have the complete understanding and confidence that this will work for you. Now let's go ahead and get into component number 1 of the formula, and that is I only wanted to market a top tier program which would allow me to get paid instantly. I call that GPI income, get paid instantly, and here's why. It's much easier for you and I to make a 5-figure monthly income in 30 days or less. I'll prove that. It's far less hassle. I'm going to prove that, and the time commitment is less, and it can be done part-time, and I'm going to prove that as well. Now, what you need to understand is the market has changed dramatically in the last 4.5 years. If the good Lord has blessed me with any ability which has really helped me make money in this industry, I'm pretty good at evaluating what's going on in the industry and thinking quick on my feet and making adjustments and changing. Here's why I say that. A lot of folks will get into this industry and do the same things over and over and over and over, but they just don't work. And sometimes they get led into believing that they're going to work, but they don't. I think someone said it once best. The best definition for insanity is doing the same things you've always done but expecting a different outcome. We've all heard that saying, but I see a lot of people in the biz op industry doing that, and I want to kind of steer you clear of that. Even if you don't work with me this evening on this project, one thing for sure is you're going to be a lot wiser after this presentation, because I'm going to share some things with you that, quite frankly, I don't think any top earner in this industry is willing to do that. So I'm going to reveal to you the truth between a top tier program versus a low tier program. I don't want you to fall victim to overhyped, low-ticket residual payout promising programs. I really want you to be in a position where you can generate some serious income for a lot less effort with a lot less work. So you're not going to be blindsided anymore about what really goes on in this industry by the time you get done finishing this presentation with me. Now, fair warning here. What I'm about to share here really is some scary real-life evidence that the biz op industry really has dramatically changed big time in the last 4.5–5 years. And what you're about to see here, as I said before, no top income earner has ever had the guts to share, but I'm going to go ahead and put myself on the line and share it with you. Now here's kind of the low-ticket skeleton in the closet that nobody really talks about, particularly those that are the admins of these programs and some of the friends or top earners in these low-ticket programs, and I'm just going to put it on the line and share it with you right here. I get a little flack for this from some of the top leaders in the industry, but quite frankly, who cares? I want to tell you things that's going to help the success rate in this industry and not add to the failure rate in this industry. Now, after I took that 4.5-year vacation, when I decided that I wanted to go out there and start doing something, I found a program which I thought on my first blush, or my first evaluation, I thought it would be a pretty good program. And with the marketing which I utilized for my higher ticket program, I utilized for this, it did a pretty good job of sponsoring. I want you to know that I had no list to go to. I firmly believe that if an opportunity has any worth whatsoever, it should be able to be developed in a cold market without you having a list, because it's not an equal level playing field if so-and-so makes a ton of money in the business and shows you how much money they made, but they failed to tell you that they had a list of 50, 60, 70, 100,000 people that know, like, and trust them, and they went out and presented that to that list, and a fair amount of folks bought that. Well, that's just not fair, because most folks come into this business without a list of that type. So for me, everything I share with you and everything you're going to see tonight, I didn't have a list to go to. I started from scratch, and that proves the system works. But let me get to this slide here. On October of '09, I found this program that I thought had some merit to it. And I personally sponsored in October that month, personally myself, complete strangers. I brought in 73 new distributors into that program. As you can see here, I've got on 10-1 to 10-14 sponsored 39 folks. Go over here to 10-17 to 10-30, sponsored 34 folks. So a total of 73 people in October of '09.